Welcome back to Factfinder Investigates. Debt collection calls are spiking all across the country, including calling at all hours of the day. And as we get closer to the holidays, investigator Caresse Jackman looks into debt dialing and what you can do to help.
The calls can be ridiculous. They just call in at all times on the day. They just want the money. They don't care what time they call you, how many times. You know, they try to act like they're your friends or family. I would say I probably was like $40,000 in credit card debt.
Shortly after her divorce in 2020 was the beginning of Kiana Blake's debt downfall.
I went from 2 incomes to 1, but just about the same amount of bills. So they just started calling me. So I had so many cards that I had like an Excel spreadsheet. If it's highlighted, it was a credit card that I was trying to work on paying off.
Mentally, what does that do to you when you're getting, especially the aggressive ones, the kind of threatening debt collector calls?
I would say it stresses you out. It almost makes you, you know, kind of want to comply. More aggressive ones, you probably tend to pay first because, you know, they're going to call you.
Blake is not alone. Millions of Americans face mountains of debt, which, when unresolved, lead to nonstop calls from debt collectors. And while legitimate debt collectors have the right to call, experts tell us many still blur the line on what's ethical versus harassment. The Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, or FDCPA, makes it illegal for debt collectors to harass or threaten you when trying to collect on a debt. For example, collectors can't generally do things like threaten violence, use obscene language, or repeatedly call someone with the intent to annoy them.
Well, it can be very deceitful. The first thing that I always tell people is initially, before you make any arrangements, any agreements with anybody, you ask them to send you validation of the debt in writing.
Debt collection reports from the Federal Trade Commission show that calls are surging from 219,000 in 2024 to over 278,000 so far this year. That's around 27%. And 41% of consumers reported receiving calls for debt they did not owe or found the calls were abusive and threatening.
They think that because the person is coming off aggressive, they feel threatened. They feel like I have to make the decision at this moment, and that's just really not the case.
Investigate TV combed through 15,000 consumer complaints made to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, dating back 10 years, about frequent debt collection calls. We found most of the complaints surrounded credit cards, medical debt, auto, and payday loans. Danny Karen is a consumer attorney, law professor, and author. He's had his own battle fighting with debt collectors in the courtroom and recently settled a case for $7.5 million dealing with these exact problems. When does it become illegal?
It's illegal when a debt collector crosses the line, when they do certain things that the FDCPA says they can't do. They call earlier than they should, they call after they should. They threaten, they lie, they say the debt is worth more than it is. They say they're going to sue you. Certain ugly things that border on harassment or are harassment are things that often check or trigger the FDCPA and can trigger a federal case.
So how are things right now, Kiana? Are things looking up? How are they right now?
I would say things are definitely looking up, from about 40,000 to probably like 13,000. So I should have that paid off in the next year or so.
And have the calls stopped?
Absolutely, because I'm not behind on anything. No reason to call me.
And if you have a story, we do want to hear from you. You can call us or email our investigators at the number and the address you see there on your screen. We'll look into interview issues for the next Factfinder Investigates.